Imran, I'm really sick and tired of this trend whereby every time I go out for pre-purchase inspection, I found out that the mileage has been doctored. So I want to hear your opinion concerning cars and mileage, and it's in two aspects, for both fresh imports and locally used cars. What's your take on it, Imran?
Yeah, it's true. It's a common issue that we constantly get, yeah, even from our clients at Precision Automotive, whereby, the client comes and the car has a gearbox failure, and the client has just bought the car literally from the showroom. It's a fresh import, and we have I witnessed this a couple of times. So when the car comes, it's got gearbox issues. When you verify the mileage using the QISJP platform, you will find that the mileage, like there was a Velfire once, the mileage was 175,000 kilometers, and literally on the car, on the dashboard, it was showing 45,000 kilometers. So this is a very, very problematic issue facing, our car industry, our car market. And how did I know? How did I come to know that the mileage was doctored? I mean, it's very difficult, to be honest, to know that the mileage has been doctored. So I just coincidentally found a sticker, a service sticker. So the car was serviced in Japan, and the mileage was reading like 120 something thousand. So I'm like, why is this sticker? Like the stickers you put for Precision, the ones for the next mileage. So I'm like, why
the
is
next
this
service?
The next service.
All right.
So I'm like, why is the next service 120,000 and the current mileage in the car is literally
45.
showing 45,000?
Yeah.
So then luckily the guy who sold the people who sold the car to the client agreed to cater for the cost and whatnot and all that. So because of the imports, from my knowledge, is that what happens when you import a low mileage car, it's slightly more expensive. So what some people do is that they will doctor the mileage so that they can sell that car at a higher premium price. All this comes from the mentality of our
The buyers.
the buyer mentality, right? They believe that a low mileage is better than
a higher mileage. But that is specifically for fresh imports?
I'm talking about fresh imports.
All right.
And what happens in that scenario is that, number one, for fresh imports, if a car is, let's say, 102,000 kilometers, literally that car is better than a car that is driven 95,000 kilometers, especially if you're importing that car from Japan. Why?
Right.
Because after every 100,000 kilometers, the car undergoes rigorous service overhaul, like the timing kit replacement. Like it's an extensive
the integral components of the vehicle
are changed.
Right.
So it's a much more advantage for you to buy a 102,000 kilometer car over buying a 95,000 or 96,000 kilometer or even 80,000 kilometer car. You see, but now the mentality is still ingrained in people that this guy is 80,000 and that guy is 102,000. So the 102,000 kilometers car is a much more better car over the 80,000, which is absolutely wrong. Another thing is that now because of that, now the showrooms are also forced to sort of doctor their mileage. I'm not saying that they're right to do it. Of course, it's totally
wrong.
It's totally wrong.
Yes.
It's dishonesty. It goes against all ethics, which is totally not advisable. So that's about the fresh imports. Now in this scenario, imagine the car had gone 175,000 kilometers, and literally the mileage on the dash was 45,000 kilometers. And from the client's perspective, he ended up paying 250,000 Kenya shillings more because
he had the mentality that this is a low mileage vehicle.
It's a low mileage vehicle.
A lot of scamming out there, if I may say so.
So that's on new imports. Now on used cars,
locally used
cars.
All right.
I have literally here at Precision Automotive, we literally maintain different sets of vehicles. We have seen a vehicle that is 70,000 kilometers. It's only gone like 25-30,000 kilometers locally. And it's got much more extensive issues over a car that is 140,000 kilometers. I personally owned a Toyota Allion once, and that car was literally 180,000 kilometers, and it had no issues. So it's all about how you maintain your cars, and that's why here at Precision Automotive, like for instance, as you know, we have a full record system whereby the car comes in, the mileage is done, everything. So we have a whole service. If you service, if people service their cars at Precision Automotive, and they're constant, they constantly service their cars here, even when they are selling the cars, we have a whole service history.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
a history record of each and every service, every repair that has ever been done.
Each and every repair that has been done in the car.
Oh, nice.
What does that do? Even for a buyer who is asking for a pre-purchase inspection, it can be an added advantage for them. Yeah, if like for instance, For Real does the pre-purchase, and then if we have the service history for that car, it will be an added advantage to the seller.
True. It will give credible information concerning that
and to
specific
the
unit.
buyer as well.
That is true.
Because the buyer will be now, okay, this car has been properly taken care of.
Very
So
true,
these are the scenarios in the locally used cars. So a car, as long as you maintain it well, yeah, especially if it's a locally used, and also it depends which car it is, right? I mean, if it's a Prado, we own a Prado 120 that is maintained by Precision, and it's moved almost 300,000 kilometers plus. So it's all about which car it is also, and how well you maintain your car, the genuine parts you use, all that comes into consideration when you are looking at locally used unit.
Right, Imran, I think I concur with you on one thing. When you talk about maintenance for a locally used unit, that's more like the selling point of it.
Exactly.
But now, on my opinion, when it comes to fresh imports, when you talk about low mileage vehicles, I'm talking about maybe 60,000, 50,000. I would usually recommend them if you're buying a car that has a hybrid system and a CVT transmission. That is because CVT and hybrid, especially let me start with the hybrid, it has a warranty of up to 150,000 kilometers or 10 years warranty. So if you're going for a hybrid vehicle, consider going for one that has a low mileage. That way you're assured that it's going to at least last you long before the warranty is out. But if you're going for a car that doesn't have, it's an unhybrid, does not use CVT, then I really want to agree with you with the slightly above 100, between 100,000 to 105,000, because that car has had a major service overhaul, ensuring that it will give you longevity. Now, let me finish up on the locally used units. On my opinion, if you're going for a locally used unit, then do not expect the car to have low mileage. Because honestly, Imran, if a car has been in perfect condition, it has been moving as it should, it has not been making frequent trips to the garage due to recurring repairs. And Imran, I know you've owned a Land Rover, right?
Yes.
You've owned a Volkswagen. So I'm talking about the German family.
Yes.
You know that those cars, sometimes they have what you call recurring issues.
Yes.
But now, if a car has been on the road, the right condition, it has been properly maintained, then you're expecting, if you're going for a locally used car that has been in the country for 10 years, you don't expecting anything less than 200,000 kilometers. You get it? If it's maybe a car that has been a commercial vehicle, even more. Because now the likes of the pickups, the likes of the MV200, the Matatus or the Nissans, the Matatu, the commercial PSV we use, that is a car that has been making trips on a daily basis, long trips on a daily basis, so the mileage has to be high. So I think what would come around, what you should really resolve to, the buyers or the local Kenyan industry, the buyers who are going for locally used units, let them not have so much unrealistic expectations or expectations that are a little bit off, Because now on the other end, what they do is that they end up putting a lot of pressure on the dealers. But then there are case scenarios whereby Imran, a locally used unit will have low mileage. Number one, let's assume maybe the previous owner has a fleet of cars.
Yes.
And now if they have a fleet of cars, then it means they get to choose which car they want to use. So maybe the car they're selling has not been used for long. The mileage will be slightly low because it has not been locally used. Another thing is if the car is problematic. Imran, I know you've been in the industry longer than I've been. And there are cars that come with issues and the owner is just like, I just need to resolve this, put the car up for sale. When that happens, it tells you that the car has not been used as it should because it has an underlying problem that has been, let's say, fast. It has been put a bad aid on it.
Yes.
So it's more like transferring problems. I just need this car off my hands and give it to someone else.
Very true.
If the mileage is low, then now the third scenario is the doctoring of mileage, which that one you've already resolved that it's due to a lot of pressure and so much not so realistic expectations from the buyer.
That's very true. And you see, I mean, to sum it up, like, if you are going for a fresh import again, I have literally witnessed that there was a time there was a Subaru Forester, and the car had genuine mileage of 70,000 kilometers. All right, and what happened with that car is that the client was misadvised. So whenever you buy a CVT car, even if it's a fresh import, even if it is a fresh import, my advice would be the first thing you need to do, the very first thing you need to do is do a service with genuine parts, by the way. Number two, especially if it's a CVT car, do a CVT fluid change. Now, in the case of that Subaru, right, the client went to took the car, bought the car today, went to Mombasa. On his way to Mombasa, the car stalled.
CVT failed.
Yes. And that was because the client was not advised to do the CVT oil change. Right. So if it's a CVT car, CVT is not like it's not meant to last you.
Yeah, true.
It's meant to last you for quite, like, even 400, 500,000 kilometers without an issue. But CVT is very, very focused on your driving habits, and number two, on the maintenance, the fluid change. So had he done a fluid change on that Subaru, immediately he bought it from the showroom. I'm sure he would have not spent a lot of money
fixing the CVT.
Getting a new gearbox.
That is true. Imran, I think in conclusion, what we'd say is this. For any car to last you long, maintenance is key.
Exactly.
Using the right product is key.
Exactly.
And having the right technician is key.
Exactly.
So yes, when you talk about cars and mileage, higher mileage cars, especially their locally used units, they shouldn't worry a buyer, because that tells them that car has been on the road doing what it's meant to do. But now for the fresh imports, consider a low mileage if it's either a car running on CVT or it's a hybrid. But for cars that are non-hybrid and do not use CVT, then 100,000 kilometers to 105,000 kilometers is the most ideal mileage to go for. So, Imran, anything else you have to add on that?
Yes, I think to conclude on this, it's just that, I would say that the CVT of the car, even if it's a high mileage or a low mileage, as soon as the car comes in, as it is, it's a consumable. You see, it's not like the hybrid battery pack, which you'll have to replace the hybrid battery pack or that or this. And then another thing here at Precision Automotive, we don't necessarily need to replace the whole battery pack. We measure which cell is faulty and we replace those cells. And to be honest, it's not as expensive as people portray it out there. So I would bank my coins on the fact that every car, as long as you don't pass the service interval, you maintain it well, even if you have bought the car from the showroom, I would advise my clients to service it, so that to avoid anything in the future. Like, there are so many instances, Joanne, as you know, you have done a pre-purchase inspection on a car, and the way you do pre-purchase inspection is you go that extra mile, look at coolant leaks, look at this, look at all the aspects, and immediately you find that the car is leaking a coolant, you will call Imran, this client needs to be sorted. And immediately the car comes, we sort the client. There have been cases, we have sorted a couple of Mercedes-Benz, and the clients are so happy because now they don't have the hassle of constantly going to the garage and being told that this is the issue. Yeah, you remember, like the Mercedes, we replaced the 3 coolant pipes.
Yeah, I remember.
And the client is so happy with the car. I mean, it doesn't have any other issue.
That is true.
As long as you get a proper guidance on when you are buying a car, I feel that you can be good. You can be really good.
So yes, there you have it. You've heard him from Imran himself. He's the professional. He's been longer in the industry, and I do believe that his opinion and his takes are of utmost value. So yeah, thank you.